Good morning, y'all. Okay, so I'm going to do something I've never done before. I'm Jeff Ferguson, and I am here in my home in beautiful, historic downtown DeLand, Florida, halfway in between Orlando and Daytona Beach. So, I grew up watching my granny in the Appalachian Mountains make biscuits. My mom never was a biscuit maker. We made toast. But I do this thing called cooking by faith, which means I do it from my head. I don't do it from a recipe. So I just go by what I feel in my heart to do. So I've been watching, growing up, my granny, who's in heaven now, make biscuits. And so what I'm going to do first is also she made cornbread. And I liked when she made cornbread because it was crispy on the bottom, that crunch. I like that. And how she did that, so I'm going to mix things up. This is just, I've never done it. This is all for my gut. Okay, so I'm going to take some, let me get a spoon. I'm going to take some bacon grease. I'll save my bacon grease. I'm going to put it on an iron skillet. She used iron skillets for her biscuits and her cornbread. So I'm just going to, from bacon I had cooked, I'm going to grease up this pan. You always use your hands with everything. I'm going to grease up this pan with bacon grease. Okay, all right. She used Crisco a lot, but I don't like Crisco. I mean, it makes pie crust good, but I don't like it. I'll wash my hands. Okay, and she put flour in a bowl. Now it's dark here. It's very early. Jean is going to be over in a little bit. I have a book deadline. I'm a ghostwriter. I do many things. I'm a minister, but I also ghostwrite for ministers. So I've got a deadline due in a couple days. So I'm cooking breakfast. All right, here we go. Okay, my granny she never measured. She would just put flour. I'm going to measure a little bit, I think. Maybe a couple of cups, I'm thinking. So the reason I've got my oven on already on 475, I'm making a mess. What do we got here? 2 cups is the whole thing, I think. Yeah. Because Granny would heat her iron skillet up for cornbread, and it would make it crunchy on the bottom. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the same thing. That's about 2 cups. I'm going to do the same thing. So there's 2 cups-ish. I'm going to put that in there. Okay. So I'm going to heat this up in the oven. So maybe we get that crunch on the bottom. So here's my plan. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to heat that up in the oven. Then I'm going to make the biscuits right here. I'm not going to use a rolling pin. Granny didn't use a rolling pin. She used her palm. Okay? And she would make a little hole. She called it something. A well, I think she called it. In the middle here. Okay? She would do that. And then she would put Crisco or oil, either one. But I heard that you can take butter. So I froze that butter, a stick of butter. Let's see if I have a grater. Here's a grater. And you can grate it. Let's just put it right back in here. Right in, yeah. And put the butter, because I love butter. Let's see if this works. I think it's working. I've never done this. First time I've ever done it. Boy, that white t-shirt maybe makes me look fat. But I didn't want to. Yes. Look at that. It looks like cheese. I'm grating butter, frozen butter. And boy, when I froze it, that wrapping came right off of it. Okay, let's see. I've never done this. First time. I'm taking little pieces of what I've seen others do, but mostly my granny, but she used Crisco or oil in her biscuits. I don't want to do that. I want to use butter. I love butter. Okay, so what I heard was just a stick. Okay, doing this just like cheese. See, it's really easy. Wow, look at that. Just put it in there. Wow, that looks like a lot. Let's not put the whole thing in there. Let's leave a little bit and we'll melt. Well, let's put a little bit more. Let's leave a little bit to melt and put on top. I'll stick that in the microwave. All right, I'm gonna cut myself. Okay, there's that. Now let's just kind of mix that together. Granny didn't use utensils in her biscuits. Oh, we do need more. She just used her hands. Okay. I miss my granny. You know, her son, my biological father, he drowned when he was 18 years old. My mother was just 3 months pregnant with me. So I was born in the Appalachian Mountains of North Carolina, and halfway through the first grade, I remember going full-time back up to Flint, Michigan, where he drowned and where my mom's from. My mom married a holy roller preacher when I was 6, and he adopted me when I was 7. You had to wait a year to adopt a child of someone you married. I don't know why that was back then, but you had to. Here we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is great. That butter's all in there instead of oil. Anyway, he adopted me. My name became Jeff Ferguson. I grew up next door to the church. Just mixing this all together. I grew up next door to the church in the parsonage. In the middle of the night when I was 12 years old, I had a powerful experience with the Lord. And the next year I went into the ministry. Isn't that something? So God has a way, doesn't he? So Granny always used buttermilk. Here's some buttermilk. It was hard. They only had like 2 at the whole Walmart. She poured a little bit in there like that. And she would just kind of gently kind of mash it together, kind of like that. Yeah, that's how she did it. Can you see? Just kind of. Never was the first time I've ever done this. I'll let you know how it is. She didn't do it too much, and that needs more. Look at the mess I'm making, y'all. Granny made a mess too. I remember that. Let's add more buttermilk. And then my one friend, Kendall, she uses heavy whipping cream. So I thought I'll put a little pinch of that in there too. Why not? We're cooking by faith. Okay. All right. And that pan, oh yeah. Yeah. That looks good, y'all. This looks like it's doing right. I know I'm probably doing it wrong, but I bet you it's going to be good. We'll see. Okay? Granny wouldn't overwork it. She was really careful not to overwork it. Now, I'm just doing this for the very first time in my life, and I'm 58 years old, and I've never made a biscuit in my life that I didn't pop open with a can. Well, this feels right, y'all. This feels what I'm imagining is the right consistency. Let's see. Okay? I think this might be right. Maybe a little bit more buttermilk. Okay, let's see. bit more. I want it to be a little more wet, I'm thinking. That's how Granny did it. So she had cartons, she didn't have plastic. And she made her own butter sometimes. There was a butter churn on the front porch. Oh, this looks good. I think this is about right. If I made it too wet, I can always add more flour, right? Can't you always add? Let's see. Let's add just a little bit more flour. This is cooking by faith. Let's see. Yeah. This is self-rising flour. It's that white lily stuff. I think I need a little more flour still. Let's see. A little bit more. There's something about cooking yourself. You know, I think it comes from the same place that decorating comes from. So there's a little bit of math involved, you know, a little bit of common sense. I think that might be right. A little bit more. And probably too much. But you know, comes from the same place as decorating and songwriting and book writing. Here we go. Here we go. I think it comes from the same place as all that. Cooking, you know, music is math. Decorating is math because you got to do scale and. Okay, we'll see. I don't know if I did this right. Probably not. Looks a little wet. Let's put a little flour down here. Right there. Granny would do that. On a cutting board, and she would do that. Let's just do this, see what happens. She never used a rolling pin. Granny didn't use a rolling pin. I think I got mine too wet. I don't know. But Granny didn't use a rolling pin. She used her hand, her palm. I think I got it too wet. We'll see. Cooking by faith. I'll learn. I'm a fast learner. Okay. Yeah. Oh, this looks right. More right. Let's see, she would just do this. She would add flour here too. I'm making a mess, y'all. Yeah, she would do that. Oh yeah, this is it. This looks right. She would get it all in there. Okay, like that. That flour she added, that's it. Now that looks right. And she would roll it like that. She would not use a rolling pin. And I know everybody uses a rolling pin, but Granny didn't use a rolling pin. Granny did not use a rolling pin. Every once in a while, she would use a glass that there we go, she did like this, and she would smash it with the palm of her hand like that. And she kept adding flour to it once it was on the thing. I'm making a mess, y'all. But the proof is in the pudding, so we'll see how it tastes. Okay, this looks right. Okay, she would smash, fold, smash. Usually, I think she did it with one hand. Smash, fold, smash, fold, and she kept adding flour like that to it, like that. She would smash, fold, and sometimes she would use smash it out, and she would fold it over. Like that. Okay, I'm making a mess. I know you cooks are laughing at me. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to try this booger. I hope they're not gonna be tough. All right, let's get all that out. Need more flour. Okay. I made it too wet. There we go, that like that. Okay. There we go, let's just smash it all out. Okay. More flour, please. This is gonna be on a comedy album, I bet, because it's so dumb how wet I got it. All right. I can't get this stuff off my fingers. Okay. I just gotta get it in the pan. Okay. Didn't feel right. I smell. Okay, here we go. All right, I'm gonna wash my hands. Okay, I hope that doesn't make like cement in my drain. All right, what am I gonna use to cut them? What about this? Okay, let me get my pan out. All right, let's see. Okay, that's super hot. Okay, let's see. Okay, I had a little glass, so I do that. Here it is. Sizzling. It's sizzling, y'all. See, that's how Granny would jerk it like that a little bit. Okay. She would just use the palm of her hand. Okay. I think I'm making a mess. Okay, let's see. It looks right in the pan. They feel a little wet. We'll see. Okay, if you preheat your hand or preheat the pan, do not grab it. Do not grab it. She did that little twist. I got the twist down, I think. Need more flour. There we go. Okay, there we go. I got it. I'm washing my hands. Okay. So I got a little butter left, so let's put this back in the oven. Let's see what happens. And I have no idea how long to leave it in there. So let's look at the mess, y'all. Is it just better to pop a can of biscuits? Let's stick some butter in there. And we're gonna brush it. I'm gonna microwave that with melted butter. Let's see. A little extra dough. So we'll see how it turns out. I wish you could try it with me. I have to wash everything. I'm gonna have to wash everything before I put it back. First time I ever made biscuits, I got some left over. There's the bacon grease. There's the butter. Let's do another. Just a little bit longer with that butter. Let's see if I can brush. I wore a white shirt so I wouldn't get it. Let's see. A brush. There. Okay, got some melted butter. So, you know what? What has always kept me away, what from like fixing things is I'm afraid I'll do it wrong. And what keeps people away from cooking is they're afraid they'll do it wrong. What keeps people away from writing a book or writing a song, you're afraid you're going to do it wrong. What keeps people away from singing in church? And afraid they'll be judged or rejected or do it wrong or make a mistake. What keeps people from their purpose and the assignment God has on their life? From having a baby, from getting married. They're afraid you'll do it wrong. You're afraid you'll do it wrong and you'll mess up. Worst case scenario, you mess up. You do it wrong. You learn from your mistakes. So I might have done this wrong. We're going to find out. I took little bits and pieces of what I'd seen and what looked right to me. And I think those biscuits were too wet. So we're going to see here in a minute. But we're going to see. We're going to see. Don't be afraid to try it. Cook by faith. Cooking by faith. Let me look. They're already cooking. Now, I just thought I remembered my granny putting it on 475. So I put it on 475. I think she had me turn it on more than once. I think it was 475, so I put it on 475. Let's see. How long do I cook them? They're rising. They look good. They're cooking. How long do I cook them? You know, hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, how long do you cook biscuits? At 475. 8 to 15 minutes. Okay, internet, it's got to be true because it's on the internet. 8 to 15 minutes, so it's probably been 7. My goodness. Okay, I'm gonna bring it back out. I think I'm gonna brush it with butter. Maybe I should wait a minute longer. Let's wait a minute longer. Anticipation. It's making me wait. Let's see. Okay, it's probably been 7 minutes. Let's take it out and brush it with butter. See it? There you go. Let's brush it with butter. Getting too much butter out and it's frying. Hope it doesn't burn. Remember, if you've got a hot pan, do not stick it. Stick your raw hand on there. Grab that oven mitt. Here we go. It's gotta have to be strong. Now we'll just wait till it's brown. Wow. But sometimes you just got to try. You just got to try, and you got to use your common sense and learn from your mistakes. Let's see if I have some soft butter somewhere. Okay. Let's get a plate ready. Let's get a butter knife ready. I'm excited. I'm excited. Let's see here. So I never taught my little girl. I have a little girl. I raised her by myself. Her mom and I divorced when she was little. But I got custody and I raised her. She's 33 years old now. And I've never taught her how to make a biscuit. Nobody taught me how to make a biscuit. I've just watched my friend Kendall make biscuits. I've watched my granny make biscuits. Now Kendall just uses heavy whipping cream and flour. That's all she uses. But I'm doing it like Granny, except instead of using oil or Crisco, I used a frozen stick of butter that I grated like cheese. So let's look. They're browning. You know, I've been cooking like crazy, and here's some fresh farm eggs. I went and picked them up yesterday. Can you see that? The fresh farm eggs. And the secret about fresh farm eggs is I love them. I love them. But they're not going to be perfect. You're going to have to throw one out now and then. They're not going to be, you got to leave them dirty. In other words, don't wash them after they come out of the hen. You know, don't wash them. You're going to want to wash them if you're clean, like me. But don't wash them if you want to leave them out on the counter. If you wash them, you got to put them in the fridge. And to me, I like to look at them out. Isn't that pretty? Look, isn't that a good looking, well, without the, but I've got my oil, I've got vegetables, and I got fruit over there, and I've got all those eggs, and I got garlic, and I got onions out on my stove, and I like that. I like to look at it. Okay. It's coming. Let's see. Oh, but if you don't wash them, if you leave them dirty and you don't wash them, you can leave them out in a bowl, like Granny always did, because we had chickens. And then you just wash them right before you use them. But I don't even do that, to be honest with you, because they're in a shell. But if you wash them, it takes that protective coating off, and you got to refrigerate them. But I like them out. I would say we're just a few moments from being ready. It's going to be so good. Going to be so good. You want to see the house while we're waiting? So I live on the 3rd floor. It's going to be dark when I take you. I live on the 3rd floor, the top floor of a commercial building, the only resident here. And you can see the TV lights in the back. So I'll show you. You want to see the house? So this is like the kitchen, the rest of the kitchen. It's awesome, you know. And then I got a TV in the kitchen, coffee bar, you know, cool kitchen. All right, so let's see. Oh, I could turn some TV lights on and you can see. Let's turn this set of lights on. So I do a daily broadcast, Christian broadcast, called 12 Minutes at 12. And you can find it at jeffferguson.com. There's my daily set. Isn't that pretty? That's my daily set. And Reba Rambo is often on it with me. And here's my house. We call it the upper room because in fact, Monday, we'll put out 120 chairs, and we call it the upper room because the address is 120. There were 120 in the upper room. We have 120 chairs. The Holy Spirit's poured out here like it was on the day of Pentecost. Here's my herb garden. Chives, sage, parsley, oregano, lemongrass, jalapeno peppers, mint. Okay, that one's red. If it's red, it's still good. There's Reba. If it's red, you can still eat it. But it means it's getting ready you need to pluck it. Okay, but see these little green ones, those jalapenos, those are good. Oregano, rosemary. Okay, I like fresh herbs. And it's not air conditioned out here. So, okay, here's the dining room. Oh, the upper room experience. This is a healing place. The third floor of a commercial building on the center block of beautiful historic downtown DeLand, 100-year-old building. So there's that. Living room, and we turn all this around so that turns into a platform full of musicians and singers. Here's a little sitting area. I eat breakfast here sometimes, but it's a good conversation area, game area. So let's see all this beautiful art. There we go. You can see that way. You can see the stained glass. And this is what we call the prophet's quarters. This was an old white utility room with an exposed furnace, and we made it a minister's guest room. I designed that closet. Here's the kitchen. There's a theater. We're turning into a audio studio. And then this is our ministry office. Those are all of our ministries we lead. That's Reba's desk. That's my desk. That's Gina's desk. And piano. Okay. And here's downtown. So let's go check. Let's go check on those biscuits. I think they're ready. But you can find out about how to find out all about us at jeffferguson.com. I think they're ready. What do you think? I think they're ready. Should we try one? Do they look flat? Kind of brown on the bottom too, because you know we put that bacon grease in there. Oh, it looks right. It looks right. We always leave butter out. Now that's hot. Try this a little bit. Oh my gosh, I did it right. I did it. We did it. First time homemade buttermilk biscuits.